Good morning, students. Again, we are back with part 2 of chapter 5, fundamental unit of cell, where we are going to study different parts of the cell and the cell organelles in detail along with the structure and the function. So, without wasting much of our time, let us start with the remaining half part of the chapter. Now let us go to the next topic, that is, now we are coming to the parts of the cell and the cell organelles. The outermost limiting membrane of the cell is called cell membrane, or it is also termed as plasma membrane. This plasma membrane is a bilipid phospholipid layer, and in between these phospholipid molecules, protein molecules are embedded. This plasma membrane is semi-permeable membrane. It means it allows only certain particles to let in, that is, only those particles which is in need of, and doesn't allow the other particles to enter the cell. Properties of plasma membrane, as I just told you, it is a semi-permeable membrane. Its flexibility and enables the cell to gulp in food, that is, to take in food from the external environment. This is called endocytosis, and by this particular process, amoeba is taking food from the surrounding. Let us go to the next, that is plasma membrane or cell membrane. Here, the outermost covering of the cell that separates the content of the cell from the external environment, and so on. Let us go to the properties again, that is endocytosis. Now, over here, slide number 20 is showing you the exactly what I meant by bilipid phospholipid layer. If you see over here, there are two layers, which is the molecule is having the red color polar head and the orange color non-polar tail. So that makes one molecule. So you can see that two molecules, just like as we prepare sandwich, the same way the two phospholipid layer, there are two layers, where the red color head portion, that is polar head, is hydrophilic meaning it is getting attracted towards water, while the tail portion is hydrophobic, it means it is moving away from the water. Correct, students? Now, in the lower part of the same slide, you can see how the two layers are, and the violet color portion you can see in the third picture is getting embedded between the phospholipid, that is the protein molecule. This protein molecule is acting as a tunnel, which is very clear in our next slide, that is slide number 21. You can see that there are two lipid layer, and in between the orange red color portion, you can see they are the transport protein. Correct? So this, through this protein, the substance are going to enter in and move out of the cell. The next is cell wall. What is cell wall? Cell wall is again the limiting membrane of the cell, which is made up of very complex material called cellulose. Students, as you all know, cell wall is present only in plant cell. It is absent in animal cell. This cell wall, it is permitting the cell of the plant to withstand the very dilute external media condition without bursting. Doesn't burst. It also helps, it gives strength and the shape to the cell. Now, the 24th slide is talking something about plasmolysis. What I just talked before about the drooping down of the leaves, that is when the surrounding has less water, the cell is going to lose water, and in this case, the cytoplasmic matter within the cell wall, within the cell membrane, is going to lose water outside, and thus it is going to shrink away from the cell wall. In this case, the leaves droop down. Again, when it is going to, so this particular shrinking down of the cytoplasmic matter shrinking, moving away from the cell wall. This is known as plasmolysis. Again, when you supply water, outside the water concentration becomes more. Cell has already lost water, so the water concentration within the cell is less. So what happens is that is from the outside, water is going to enter back to the cell, and again the cell becomes turgid, and the drooped leaves are going to become upright. Let us go to the next part of the cell, that is the nucleus. Nucleus is said to be the brain of the cell, which is main controlling center. As in the diagram, you can see that the nucleus is surrounded by or has a limiting membrane called nuclear membrane. But this nuclear membrane is not continuous. It has small pores in it, which is called nucleopore. Within the nucleus, the fluid that is present is called nucleoplasm. Then there are thread-like structures called the genetic material, which is known as chromatin. And this chromatin material, in certain place, it is very, very condensed, and that is known as nucleolus. The composition of nucleus, as I just told you, through this nucleopore, students, because the nuclear membrane is not continuous, it has small pores. Through this nucleopore, the material from the cytoplasm can enter in the nucleus, and from the nucleus, whatever material has to be thrown out, it is added to the cytoplasm, and through the cytoplasm it moves out. The function of chromosomes, that is the chromatin material, it is made up of the genetic material called DNA. The full form of DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. Clear, students? It is this DNA which is having the genetic material, and it is due to this we are having the inheritance of characteristic from our parents. Let us go to the next, that is functions of nucleus. I just explained you before. The nucleus plays a central role in cellular reproduction. It is a process by which the single cell is going to divide into two new cells. So in short, it is the controlling center. Then it is something about the nucleoid also I just talked. Let us go for cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a fluid matter which is present within the cell membrane, within the cell wall. This cytoplasm is providing the fluid medium for all the cellular activities. These cellular activities are called metabolic activities. Within the cytoplasm are few organelles, the functional part, which are going to help in the cellular activities. They are known as cell organelles. It helps in the exchange of material between the cell organelles. It is the site of certain metabolic pathways such as glycolysis. Now let us go to the next cell organelle, that is endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum, in short, we will say it is ER. Endoplasmic reticulums are also known as roadways, pathways of the cell. I'll just show you the slide where you can see how the endoplasmic reticulum are spread all over the cell within the cytoplasm. Before that, there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum, that is rough endoplasmic reticulum and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum are membrane bound tube-like, and they are sheets which are spread all over. You can see in this slide, the center, the violet portion is the nucleus, the red color portion and the orange color portion, you can see they are tube-like, and they are the pathways which are moving from the nucleus till outside. So the orange portion, you can see the small dots on it, those are nothing but the ribosomes. So the ribosomes are getting embedded on the wall of the endoplasmic reticulum, then the surface become rough, and so they are known as rough endoplasmic reticulum. While in the orange portion, you can see that there are no such dots like structure present, so the outer surface is remaining smooth, so it is known as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Now you can see still over here in the detail the structure, that is how the smoothness and the roughness of the endoplasmic reticulum is. Now, as you know that on the rough endoplasmic reticulum there are ribosomes. These ribosomes are specifically meant for the protein synthesis. So, in short, rough endoplasmic reticulum along with ribosome is helping or is having the function of manufacturing protein. And once the proteins are manufactured, then they are sent to various places in the cell depending upon the requirement. Correct? That is the site where it is required. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is helping in the manufacture of fat, molecules, lipids, which are very, very important for the cell function. Now, let us go for the next slide. Here it says that the endoplasmic reticulum also functions as a cytoplasmic framework, providing a surface for some biochemical activities of the cell. That is nothing but, as I just told you, it is spread throughout the cell. Let us go to the next slide, that is Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus consists of a system of membrane-bound vesicles which are arranged approximately parallel to each other in a stake called cisterns. So you can see over here in the slide, these are the pink color tubular structure which are known as cisterns, which are placed one above another, and on the surrounding the cisterns we can see the small ball-like structures which are known as vesicle. So what happens is, in the function, for this membrane, they are often connected with each other, and they are also connected with the endoplasmic reticulum. So whatever the portion has to be supplied or the transported will be done with the help of Golgi apparatus also. Let us see the function of Golgi body. That is, the material which is synthesized near the endoplasmic reticulum is packaged and is dispatched to the various target inside and outside the cell through the Golgi apparatus. So first it is poured in the cisterns, and from the cisterns the small globules in the form of vesicle is getting cut out, and this vesicle will be moving through the endoplasmic reticulum, and again by exocytosis it is just going to burst out at the targeted place. So in the second half picture you can see the blue color portion is the endoplasmic reticulum, how it is spreading from the nuclear center to the outside cell membrane, while the pink color portion is the Golgi apparatus. Here is the enlarged structure of Golgi apparatus for your better understanding. Let us go to the next. Again, its function include the storage, modification and packaging of product in vesicle. That is, as I just told you, vesicle will be formed and then it will be passed to the site of the action where it is required. In some cases, complex sugar may be made from simple sugar in the Golgi apparatus. Okay, students? So this is the end of the second part of cell chapter. Now still 4 points are still remaining, that is lysosome, mitochondria, plastids and vacuole. About this we will be studying in the next part, that is part 3 of the same chapter. Till then, goodbye students. If you have liked my video, if you have found it informative, then please do not forget to like it, subscribe my channel and please give your views about the video in the video column. Thank you. Till then, goodbye students.